Thank you for sticking around to the end of the day here. I know it's me standing between you and some pints on the corner, so we'll work on getting everyone there promptly. So, as Shafi said, my background is in engineering. I have several startups in diagnostic aids in medicine. Mental health is a newer interest of mine. And so really what I want to talk about today is, rather than telling you a product is something that, oh, you have a booth down here, the product that I want to give you is twofold. First is a source of knowledge to help take the idea that you might have into growing. And the second one is knowledge in the way of, if you're looking for expertise to help grow your company, I'm going to highlight some of the resources we might have available to help set that up. So talking about what is the future of mental health. So I think we've all seen many different things today, looking at all the startups, talking about all the different sources of stress and anxiety that are leading to it. And I think just looking at this graph induces anxiety in some people. But really, the goal of it is to take a look at all the different sources. As you grow, where can you grow? So, we heard on some of the talks today, in adolescence and childhood, how they can react to some stimuli, how that changes as we get into adults. The same thing goes for how that stress is. And so really looking at health as a full life process is one of the things that we have baked into the ethos that is the Global Business School for Health, and trying to identify some of these points. Obviously, there's a number of different companies coming into this space. These are just some of the big ones. Obviously, we've heard from some of the great startups today. And within the business school, many of us can be academics. We can be recovering academics, as our last speaker, or not quite recovering, still with the affliction. But ultimately, really what we need is people that have lived it, that have the scars of their startups, of their companies coming in and sharing. And so any of you out there that are interested in maybe giving back to the next generation, teaching them how to do this, this is definitely something that we are very keen to do. Happy to talk to me afterwards. We have a booth downstairs. We're always looking for people that are willing to come and share their story. What was it like, if you just did your first exit? What was day one of your startup? What was day one of going along? And so we're definitely looking for connections that way, because sharing those stories, helping shape the next generation is going to be very important. But so Shafi did a great job letting us know. We are, as far as all of our research can tell us, the very first business school for health in the world. Obviously, all the business schools have dabbled in health, but we are focused on health. And what does that mean? That means if you're coming to do an MBA with us, this isn't you needing to learn how to do health and baking it into your assignments. Every person you're going to interact with has a health background, has successes in health. Maybe an MBA isn't for you. Maybe you're interested in doing a master's degree in global health management, in pharmaceutical pharmaceutical management, digital health entrepreneurship, where I am. All of these, all of us who are teaching, we have companies, we have the experiences. Some of them are full-time academics like me. Some of them are people like Shafi that come in that are doing this, running these companies as a day job and are coming in and helping us. But either way, developing, really great content to show you what the future of healthcare can look like. We really want to look at health in a holistic way, trying to imagine what can healthcare systems do that are actually building on every aspect. It's the health, going to the hospital, as well as the wellness. How do these interact? And again, how can we build this into not necessarily always profit-driven, but impact-driven healthcare challenges? And really want to challenge that status quo of making sure that health and management is there for good. Profit is also good, but also making sure that we're improving the lives of people. So within our school, we have three separate areas of focus. The one is that is most applicable to mental health is the consumerization of healthcare, and I'll talk about some of our great expertise in a couple of slides. But really looking at developing better tools, developing better user experiences, to drive people being, drop the attrition rate on many of these apps. And investigating mechanisms to have the human and human-computer interactions. We also have a strong research interest in financial and operational improvements, obviously trying to understand in the various healthcare systems of the world, where can we derive value, where can we find the ability to find money to fund many of these apps that we are looking to do. And then obviously, how can we teach digital literacy? We all know that the future is digital. We are always the converted. That's why we are here sharing our great ideas. But obviously, if we go back to the healthcare systems, your general nurse on the wards, you may not be as technologically advanced as those of us sitting here. So how can we create programs in order to upskill and to increase the digital literacy of healthcare workers? So those are the three areas that we are trying to focus on. And specifically now, I'd like to share, if you're looking for support in your company, there's 4 individuals that we have that have a large amount of expertise in mental health. So Paul Expert is a lecturer in health informatics. He has a number of great pieces on using data in order to power health change, especially in the mental health space, trying to understand from the real world data, how do you do these detection of when someone has moved from feeling low into depression, trying to understand behavioral change and trying to figure out what sort of interactions they might be able to respond to. So a brilliant data scientist, brilliant innovator, and definitely and with a long history in the mental health space. Margina is a marketing person with a huge expertise in human-computer interaction, marketing of digital care, and really how to drive people to use a digital health app across the health space, including mental health. She's another great innovator with a huge amount of expertise, working in many different healthcare systems across Europe. And she'd be a great asset to support anyone, and has a number of projects going on. Look us up on LinkedIn, watch us on Twitter. We actually have a number of projects here where we're trying to create frameworks to help drive digital literacy in underrepresented organizations. And we're looking for companies to come in that are going to work with us for a year to evaluate what your plans are, apply best practice, and try to come up with a group think to come up with better solutions for your future. And she's leading all of that work. So definitely do get in contact if you're interested in participating. Paula Zappa is a organizational structure. There was a number of great apps today talking about workforce and workforce stresses. She has a huge expertise looking at how to design organizational structures in order to maximize productivity and using non-financial means. And she has, using this expertise, could easily be able to support any of the people that we heard today talking about, workforce wellness apps. And so, she'd be a great person that, could potentially support you. And then there's this guy that's, sitting here talking. As I said, my background is in data analytics, especially in rare small data regimes. I have a number of companies in that space looking to, we've developed novel networks that are able to provide power with hundreds of data sets, not thousands or millions, able to do complex complex decisions over incredibly heterogeneous data. And so that's my background. I also, in regulation, as my companies are functioning everywhere but the UK. So I have quite a bit of expertise in that space, and I'm definitely happy to support other developments. But truly, our greatest asset is the students that we are creating. We have 50 MBA students and 70 students that are being trained up in digital health entrepreneurship, where we spent several weeks on mental health, as well as many other areas of digital health. These people are being trained by some of the best in the world. What does it look like to start up? What does it look like to evaluate business cases? And they'll definitely be looking for jobs in a couple of months. Everything that we have done has been done working with people like you to understand what do you want from your potential employees, and that's what we've really baked into it. So I think I'm going to wrap up on, we know going forward, there's a number of things that mental health needs, and really these are some of the cores of what we've been teaching, is that, everyone needs objective data, and especially in mental health, anything that we can quantify is something that we need to look for. How can we model it? Is things, many of you in the audience are probably, the experts on. The precision of, what is the difference between the different stratifications of, mental health and mental health change, and even the repair of that and the improvements. Privacy, obviously, we are limited by, or we are bound by government regulation on what we can use with data. But obviously, what can we do? Are there federated approaches? Are there ways that we can use metadata? What are these other sort of solutions that we can explore to move this forward? And obviously, trying to do this in an equitable way so that everyone benefits from this. We all know about the detriments in clinical trials where it is not usually a representation of the populace. Certain demographics are participating. How can we use these deep learning tools to scale health going forward in a way that is equitable and inclusive of everyone? So with that, I'd like to thank you. And so this is our new facility out in Stratford that we just opened up. And definitely would love to work with you, whether it's looking at ways that we can do projects together, if you're looking to send students, or if you're potentially looking to hire any of our amazingly trained students.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Thank you. So, I think this is a really important thing. This is the first global business school for health in the world, and of course in the UK. And obviously what you've got a cohort of students who are young, who are energetic, very bright, who could be useful to many companies going forward. They'll look for people to be appointed who understand digital health entrepreneurship, thanks to Adam. Also, UCL needs to think about writing policy documents on digital health, innovation, how they can work with governments and major corporations. In fact, some of their mentors are from industry, right, Adam?
Well, correct. So, every student that we have, regardless of what program they're in, is going to have at least 2 mentors that they are going to meet with multiple times during the year. One of them is helping develop a research project. One of them is looking to develop a business case. All the programs need to develop one actual business case and defend it throughout the course of the year. Those processes are obviously overseen academically, but they're going to have a mentor working with them for about 5 or 6 hours during the course of the year to help evaluate their idea and make connections for what they need to do. On top of that, we have a very robust health execs and residents. Again, anyone with a senior experience that is willing to give 2 to 4 hours once during the course of the year to meet with students in 15-minute increments, talk to them about what their career ambitions are, give a little bit of advice, and just be a connection for them in that 15-minute time. So anyone looking to get involved, there's definitely places for us to interact and hopefully build relationships.
Yes, it's about building relationships with industry, more mentors they may require from different parts of the industry, so come forward and connect with Adam, but also think about how you might work together. I think UCL has the opportunity to be a pivotal to kind of dissemination of innovation in digital health across the UK. And I think it has that capacity and, of course, academic in terms of the credibility to be very much center focus. Adam?
Well, we really do have a global focus, not just the UK. Our faculty truly, a faculty of 15 hail from 8 different countries on just about every continent. So I don't think we have anyone from Antarctica. But other than that, we're doing pretty good.
And how many students did you have last year? So they were really competitive last year. How many students applied for the places that you offered?
So we accepted about 1 in 10.
Wow.
So we truly have the ability to take the best and brightest of the world. So these students that we have, and we've chosen them intentionally so that teamwork is baked into everything they do, because we know this is important, for working. And so, we make sure that we have about half of our students are medics, half of them have a business background, so they also get that peer-to-peer interaction, not just from everyone else. So they truly are leadership in healthcare trained when they're done.
Yeah. So you can create leaders of tomorrow, right? Essentially.
Yes.
It's actually easier to get into medical school than it is your MBA program, from what I can imagine. Adam, so thanks so much.
Thank you.
I hope to hear more from you as we go on. But thank you, Adam, for taking time out.